A blocking pattern is keeping weather relatively quiet across the central U.S., but a couple ripples will get through, creating the chances for some severe weather this week. So we have an infamous omega block upper level pattern set up across the central part of the country, or setting up, I should say. And the reason is because it looks like the Greek letter omega when we kind of trace the upper level winds or the jet stream around these areas across the west and then into the east, sandwiched between two upper level lows. Those act to kind of pump the warm air up ahead of it, and that's warm, dry, stable weather that we're going to see in that upper level ridge. But there are going to be some disturbances that get through. Severe weather is always possible, and sometimes it's about looking for the subtleties in the atmosphere rather than big, obvious setups. And we're going to have kind of those situations this week. So a ripple gets through. This is looking at vorticity, or where there could be lift and spin aloft. A ripple or sort of a wave gets through that ridge a little bit here as we head into Thursday. That's going to be the main focus for the best chance of more widespread severe weather. Today there will be a few thunderstorms, but there's not really any upper level winds. The jet stream is non-existent across Texas, and that means there's not much shear too. Where there is shear, it's too cold and dry for any severe weather or thunderstorms at all really to develop across the north central parts of the country. But that's going to change as we see this jet streak develop Thursday, and this is all part of that sort of ripple moving through the upper level ridge. Jet stream winds do pick up a little bit aloft as we head into late Thursday, and that will help to create just enough shear to organize storms across central and east central Texas as we head into late Thursday. So that's why it's the best chance of seeing some severe weather. Slight risk at this point. That might change as we get closer. And we have a small slight risk area today in West Texas. The main threats are going to be large hail and just some brief severe wind gusts that are possible because you get these elevated or high-based thunderstorms in West Texas that can develop, and there's enough dry air where any rain or thunderstorms that develop can produce some of these brief wind gusts rather than organized systems. But late this evening, we will see some of those thunderstorms pop up, some large hail, and then again, some of those brief 60, 70 mile an hour wind gusts are possible. And then as soon as the sun goes down, those will disappear. Not a lot of moisture either, which is part of the key to these. You want those high base storms so that you have a lot of dry air and room for that rain to fall in. It evaporates and cools, and then that air plunges down to the ground. But as we head into later in the week, we are going to see more deep moisture. So higher dew points in East Texas by Thursday, and we're going to have a dry line develop. So these are dew points, and to the west, dew points in the 40s and 50s, ahead of it 60s to near 70. And you notice the reason it's a dry line, not a cold front, there's no temperature difference. So it's a difference in dew points. Drier air is more dense, like cold air is when you compare it to. We'll have those southeast winds ahead of the dry line, and then this west wind coming out of New Mexico and West Texas, where these areas of dry air really develop on the plateau there and just kind of move east as they literally roll downhill across Texas. So slight risk of severe weather for central Oklahoma and through a swath of central Texas for Thursday. That's the best chance of seeing some of those more organized storms. Again, remember, we're going to have shear, we're going to have that jet stream, we're going to have that ripple come through aloft, and more moisture. So thunderstorms late Thursday, those look like a better chance of seeing some organized storms, some isolated tornadoes, and some high wind gusts and large hail. So that's what we're watching over the next few days.